Sports Channel America presents Auto Racing NASCAR Busch Grand National Style. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Lanier Raceway in Gainesville, Georgia. You're looking live at a very soggy 3/8 mile banked asphalt oval where there are some safety trucks now on the circuit to try to dry the speedway off. We've had off and on rain showers here this afternoon at Lanier Raceway, but the cars are qualified for today's You Can Rent 200. We have a fine field of 30 of the top Busch Grand National cars and stars ready to do battle for us here in just a short time. The weather has improved radically in the last 15 minutes. Latest report indicates we're at the tag end of this rainstorm, and we're hoping to be able to go racing in just a short time. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ron Williams. Alongside me, Glenn Jarrett, one of the greats of NASCAR Busch Grand National competition. It's good to be with you as we begin the 1990 coverage of Busch Grand National stock car racing here on Sports Channel America. We're looking forward to a terrific event today. Some of the great stars have qualified up front. Some of the other popular stars we know so well are pretty far back in the lineup, and we'll show you that starting lineup a little bit later on. But up front, Chuck Bown has really shown everyone the way so far today.
He certainly did, Ron. He ran consistently faster than anybody in practice, and when the time trials were held, he indeed sat on the pole. This is the first time these guys have had a chance to be on their own away from the Winston Cup stars, and they're ready to go racing. They hate a rain delay like this. It works on your nerves. You've qualified. Everything is all set to go. Now you got an hour and a half once the rain starts, and you hate that. You want to go racing, and they're ready.
Covering the action pit side for us today will be Sports Channel America's Ralph Shaheen. He's standing by in the infield right now with a key NASCAR official. Ralph?
Well, we're standing with Andy Hall, and Andy is the director of media for the Busch Grand National Series. Now, Andy, just a few minutes ago, it was pouring down here in the pit area. It has stopped. The crews have gone back to the cars. The tarps are coming off. Are we going to get this race in?
Well, that's our intention. Of course, we've got a great field of cars here, and it's always our policy to try to get the race in if we can. And the weather looks good right now. It looks like it's going to clear up, and we'll get the track dry as soon as we can.
Well, that's the word from NASCAR, and hopefully we'll be able to get going here in just a few minutes. Ron?
All right, thank you very much, Ralph. The safety trucks are out on this 3/8 mile paved oval. They're working their way around to try to iron off the water, get the water off the racing surface, and make this track fit for racing, and we can begin the You Can Rent 200 here at Lanier Raceway, hopefully in just a short time. Meantime, though, we're going to send you back to Sports Channel for the sports writers. We'll be back here at Lanier Raceway in just a little while. We continue to hear from NASCAR that they expect this storm to move through quickly. We should be able to dry the track off, Glenn, and hopefully get the race underway in just a short time.
Well, you know, as soon as the rain does stop, Ron, they'll be able to put the service vehicles out there. The track is built such that it will drain and dry very quickly. So once the rain stops, it shouldn't take too long to get the track into racing condition.
You're looking down from the first turn, back down the main straightaway toward the fourth turn here at beautiful Lanier Raceway, one of the prettiest short tracks we've ever had the pleasure of visiting. It is a 3/8 mile banked asphalt oval, and hopefully, as Glenn mentioned, the rain will end quickly, and we'll be able to bring this event to you here on Sports Channel America in just a short time. As we told you a half an hour ago, the NASCAR officials are watching the weather situation very closely. Sports Channel's Ralph Shaheen's been watching that situation, but we thought we'd take an opportunity to talk to the hottest driver here so far this weekend. Our Ralph Shaheen is standing by with today's pole sitter. Ralph?
That's right, Ron. We have Chuck Bown with us. Now, for Chuck, this is a thing that's normal. He's from Portland, Oregon. Chuck, you see a lot of this rain up there in the great Northwest.
Yeah, that's true, but that's why I moved to the East Coast. I'm trying to get away from it.
Well, now, what does this do to you as a driver? What will your strategy be when we get back to racing? Is this really going to change the asphalt here?
Well, I guess everybody's guessing a little bit. You know, the track's been changing a little bit throughout the day with practice and qualifying. The sun comes out for a while, and then it rains a little while, and then the sun comes back out. So it's a little bit of a guess for everybody, but, you know, everybody's dealing with the same thing. I think we're adjusted to what we think the track's going to do, but, you know, you don't know for sure. But I think we're in pretty good shape with an Escafé Classic Pontiac.
Well, right now down here, it's just hurry up and wait. Let's go back upstairs to Ron.
All right, thank you, Ralph. Chuck will have the pole. Kenny Wallace will be on the outside of the front row. We'll be back here at Lanier Raceway as soon as we have more to tell you. Now we rejoin the sports writers. We can bring you the You Can Rent 200 tonight for the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series. Hello once again. I'm Ron Williams. With me, Glenn Jarrett. We're standing by because we expect the Busch Grand National stars to be out on the speedway in just a couple of moments, and we'll have all the action for you here on Sports Channel America as soon as the track is ready to race on. Meantime, Sports Channel's Ralph Shaheen is standing by in the infield.
That's right, Ron. We're down underneath the Tech Center here at Lanier Raceway. And joining me is a gentleman who is in his rookie season of Busch Grand National. And not only is he a rookie, but he's a current points leader. And Bobby Labonte, you got to be finding yourself a little bit surprised at top of the points this time of the year.
Yeah, we are. You know, the Penrose Firecracker Oldsmobile's been running good all year. You know, it's just a situation of we've had a lot of good finishes. Our starts haven't been too good. Today we start 21st, so that's not very good. But, you know, if we can just stay out of trouble and finish the race, maybe we can maintain that position.
Well, as Bobby said to me just a little while ago, it's not where you start, but where you finish. And hopefully we'll be able to start real soon. Gentlemen?
All right, thank you very much, Ralph. Bobby Labonte out of Corpus Christi, Texas. Of course, the younger brother of NASCAR Winston Cup star Terry Labonte. Bobby in his first year of Busch Grand National competition. Here's where he's finished so far this season. He opened up at Daytona with a fine 6th in the Goodies race, at Richmond a 3rd, Rockingham a 9th. They didn't finish in the top 10 at Martinsville, a 19th finish there. At Hickory got a 5th, then Glenny's finished 2nd at Darlington. That's a tough track to race on, as you well know.
Very much so. Bobby has done a terrific job, but there's one thing we have to remember. He's a rookie. His father, Bob Labonte, has been around racing a long, long time. He calls the shots.
Absolutely, and we're looking for great things out of Bobby Labonte in the You Can Rent 200 here at Lanier Raceway, Gainesville, Georgia. We'll be back in a little while to update you on the situation, but we're hoping to be able to bring you some racing action in the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series right here in just a short time. We'll be back as soon as we can. Right now, we're going to send you back to Sports Channel America for Sports Business. We'll be back. The rain has stopped. As you can see, they're drying off the race cars, preparing to go racing in just a few minutes. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ron Williams. With me, Glenn Jarrett, famous Busch Grand National driver of seasons past, and he's with us here in the booth tonight, and we'll be bringing you all the action here from Lanier Raceway, hopefully in just a few moments if things continue the way they are now. One of the stories that we've been following this afternoon, the story of young Kenny Wallace out of St. Louis, Missouri, who qualified very well for this event. He's standing by in the infield with Sports Channel's Ralph Shaheen. Ralph?
Well, he sat on the pole at Darlington, and here this afternoon at Lanier, he'll be starting from the outside front row position. And Kenny, you're still searching for that elusive first win in Busch Grand National, but your short track program has probably been the strongest point so far in 1990.
Oh, Ralph, for sure. You know, last year was my first series in the Busch Series, but, you know, it's a pretty tough division. I ran 3 years in ASA and felt like I started getting grasp on it, but I think right now our team's the best it's ever looked since it's been together, and the car's running real good. It's just a matter of time now, and hopefully here at Gainesville we can win.
Well, they're all set at the Cox Racing team. Tony Frazee and the guys came down here earlier in the year, tested, they're set, they're ready to go racing, and hopefully we'll be able to do that soon, Ron.
Sure hoping that that's the case, Ralph, and Kenny Wallace will start on the outside pole, Glenn, and he posted a very strong qualifying run.
He certainly has, and Kenny has run real well for the past few races on the short track scene. I'm going to go out on a limb and predict neither pole sitter Chuck Bown nor Kenny Wallace has won a Busch Grand National race thus far in their career. I think we're going to see a new winner.
Think so?
Absolutely.
All right. Hopefully we'll be able to tell you that story in the minutes ahead here at Lanier Raceway, Gainesville, Georgia on Sports Channel America. We'll be back hopefully in just a few minutes to bring you the start of the event. For now, we'll see you later. The 1990 Busch Grand National Series started off on NASCAR's biggest tracks at places like Daytona and Rockingham. Tracks where NASCAR's elite Winston Cup drivers dominate. Names like Gant, Earnhardt, Waltrip in Victory Lane. But on the short tracks, though, you don't mess with the Busch Grand National Series regulars. Tommy Houston and L.D. Ottinger have 3 wins in 1990, all on short tracks. Despite those victories, though, everyone is chasing Bobby Labonte of Texas. In his first full season of Grand National competition, he's finished out of the top 10 only once. Today, it's back to the short track. Bobby Labonte puts his point lead on the line in Gainesville, Georgia. Sports Channel America presents Auto Racing NASCAR Busch Grand National style. Good evening and welcome once again to Lanier Raceway in Gainesville, Georgia for tonight's Busch Grand National You Can Rent 200 here on Sports Channel America. If you've been with us for the past couple of hours, you know we've endured some weather problems here, but the skies have dried up, the track is almost dry, and we're about ready to go racing here tonight with the first of what will be a very exciting summer of NASCAR stock car racing here on Sports Channel America. We'll be bringing you live coverage of 9 of these NASCAR Busch Grand National events, starting now, running through September, and starting in a few weeks. Every Sunday night, we'll be bringing you a special anthology show, The Week in Speed, and that'll be another exciting addition to the lineup here on Sports Channel America. And we're looking forward to bringing you all of these events. It's called Speed Week Sunday, and we're looking forward to bringing that to you, too, as well, here on the Sports Channel. We've got a lot of things to tell you about here tonight. 30 cars and drivers are set to do battle in a short time, but the big story has been the weather. Here's our current situation after off and on rain this afternoon. It's cooled off to 65 degrees. Our relative humidity still pretty high at 87%. The wind's out of the south now at 8 miles an hour. But the best news of all, Glenn Jarrett, the forecast, a 10% chance of rain. Glenn Jarrett is alongside tonight to help us out with the commentary in the booth. Great driver in the Busch Grand National Series for many years. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Ron. You make me sound a lot better than I actually was. It's a pleasure to be here. We're looking forward to this race tonight. I know all the Busch Grand National regulars are too. For the first 7 weeks or first 7 races of this series, they kind of had to share the spotlight with the Winston Cup guys. And this is the first chance that they have had to showcase their own talents on their own. The Winston Cup guys are off racing elsewhere. This is the night that they've been looking forward to. This is the part of the season that the Busch Grand National regulars like the most. This is where they cut their teeth. This is Saturday night racing at the best. We had a heck of a qualifying effort from all the guys. Qualifying very, very competitive. I think we're going to see a whale of a show.
It'll be a terrific race. We know that will be the case, and it'll be coming up here in just a couple of moments. The racetrack here, very unique at Lanier Raceway. It's a 3/8 mile oval, slight banking, perhaps 8 to 10 to 12 degrees, and it's almost like a circle, Glenn, for the drivers when they're running in the racing group.
Well, it is. The banking is sufficient enough to give the cars good speed. Also, it's very, very wide in the turns, which is highly unusual for a short track, a 3/8 of a mile track. It gives the guys room to go racing like 3 wide. Sometimes they could even go 4 wide here if that were the case. A lot of room. You're not going to get yourself into too much trouble in the turns, but it is very, very fast. As soon as you come off of one turn, you're getting ready to go into the next turn, so you don't get much break. You don't get a chance to rest.
It keeps your attention definitely as a driver. 30 of the finest NASCAR Busch Grand National cars and stars are set to do battle tonight here at Lanier Raceway in the You Can Rent 200. Quite a story in qualifying. Very close, very competitive were the times. 28 of the starters made it through qualifying. We'll have 2 provisional starters with the front row. Downstairs, Sports Channel's Ralph Shaheen. Ralph?
Well, Ron, for the second year in a row here at Lanier Speedway, Chuck Bown will be starting from the pole. Chuck, you're still chasing that elusive win. Now tell me, with the change in the weather conditions, both the temperature and the track conditions, what is it going to take to win here this afternoon at Lanier?
Well, I'll tell you at the 200 lap mark. If I knew the total answer to it, I'd feel a little bit better than I do right now, but the Nescafe Classic Pontiac's running good. You know, everybody's guessing a little bit. This rain was long and hard, washed all the rubber that we put on the track this afternoon. I look for the racetrack to be a little tight at the very first, but after that, I look for it to slicken up a little bit. Now, how slick it'll be at the end of 200 laps, I don't know, but we've done the best educated guessing we can to be right for the 200th lap, because that's the one that counts.
Well, somebody else that is guessing is starting right next door to Chuck Bown, and it's the gentleman that was a 1989 Rookie of the Year in Busch Grand National, and that's Kenny Wallace. Now, Kenny was be starting from the outside of the front row, and Kenny, you're still chasing your first elusive win as well. What is this temperature change and track condition going to do to you?
Well, Ralph, you know, starting up front here is going to help matters, because right now, you know, we don't know what the track's going to do. It rained earlier today, and I thought the track might be a little bit better because it washed all the rubber off. We had a good, clean track, but it made it looser. So, you know, we're just going to have to find out. It's 200 laps. Some people think it's a short race, but it's not a short race because, you know, the tires do give up in about 30, 40 laps. So we'll just have to see. I'm prepared on a little bit tight side right now, so if anything, hopefully I'll be pushing a little bit.
Well, as you can see, it's going to be a question of which team is best prepared here this afternoon.
All right, thank you, Ralph. We'll be back after these messages.
Get ready for a special Sports Illustrated sneak preview.
It's unreal. The man, it's like he's from another planet.
You never know what he's going to do.
He doesn't even know. He just does it, and you're like,
duh. They just saw an amazing video cassette presented by Sports Illustrated, starring the most exciting figure in sports today.
who else? Jordan.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Michael Jordan, Come Fly With Me 1990. Over 40 minutes of the game's ultimate playmaker. Yours free with your paid subscription to SI.
Yes!
Call toll-free and get 26 issues of SI at over 45% off the cover price.
I didn't realize you could save that much.
Including SI's blockbuster baseball preview, the giant 35th anniversary covers issue, and the red hot swimsuit issue.
So what's the catch?
No catch. You get it all for just 3 monthly installments of $12.97 each. Even use your credit card.
Golden. Let's do it.
Save over 45% and get the Jordan video free.
You're going to be giving away a lot of these babies, starting right here.
Now, you can relive the classic fables and folklore of the Old West in the Great Westerns collection from Time Life Video. All your favorite stars, Robert Redford, Steve McQueen, Paul Newman, all captured for you in this Great Westerns collection. Start with the Magnificent Seven for only $9.99.
Somehow I don't think you've solved my problem.
Solving your problems isn't our line. We deal in lead, friend.
7 hired guns, 7 heroes who were mean, tough, and honest.
You think I'm brave because I carry a gun?
Then, about every other month, you'll receive another Great Western. There's no commitment to buy. Keep only the videos you want. So reach for your phone now for the Magnificent Seven. Here's how to order.
To order your Magnificent 7 video, call 1-800-841-0300 or send just $9.99 plus $3.23 shipping and handling to Western Video Collection, P.O. Box 4670, Omaha, Nebraska.
Back here at Lanier Raceway, Gainesville, Georgia, about set to begin tonight's You Can Rent 200 for the Busch Grand National Series in NASCAR. Our Ralph Shaheen is standing by with one of the superstars of this division.
Well, only 2 people so far this year in Busch Grand National have 2 wins apiece. One of them is Dale Earnhardt, who's not here this weekend. The other one is Tommy Houston. And Tommy, you got a lot of people sitting up on the front row that are not as well experienced as you here, especially at Lanier. What are you going to be thinking? What's your strategy going to be as we get closer to the green flag?
Well, you know, just keep everything straight and let the tires come in and try not to run too hard and you know, kill the tires, because we do have a tire penalty tonight. But this Rosie Store Buick's running awful good, and, you know, it's a real consistent race car, and this is the same car we won at Martinsville and at Hickory with this year. So, you know, I think we'll be okay tonight.
Well, if experience is going to be a major factor here this afternoon, Tommy Houston is certainly bringing a wealth of it into the start of this race this afternoon.
He sure is, Ralph. We're looking forward to seeing Tommy do battle along with the other 29 cars and stars who will be doing battle here tonight at Lanier Raceway. Let's take a look at the current Busch Grand National point standings. This is race number 8 of their long season, which runs, of course, until late in the fall. A lot of the top point drivers are a little further back, Glenn Jarrett, than we might expect to see them ordinarily.
We're seeing some new faces early on, particularly the guy leading the points, Bobby Labonte. He's a rookie on this circuit, and finds himself right now at the top of the point standings.
As we talked about earlier in one of the updates we gave you tonight, we were supposed to start this race at about 4 o'clock. Labonte's only been out of the top 10 once in the first 7 races, a 19th place finish earlier this year at Martinsville. Jimmy Hensley, one of the great veterans of this series, he's in 2nd spot already this year.
Jimmy Hensley, I talked to him earlier on today, Ron, and he is extremely happy with his current situation. The team that he's driving for now, it all came together in one afternoon at Martinsville, Virginia last year when he qualified Dale Earnhardt's car on the pole. It all led to his being in this car. He will be a very tough contender for that title this year.
Lots of fine stars in this race, and as we will look through the lineup in the moments to come, some of the top guns you're used to hearing from are going to start pretty far back tonight.
Yeah, it is a little unusual. We've got some guys running in the top 10 tonight. There's only, I think, 2 or 3 of the, so to speak, veterans running up front. And as I said earlier, if the folks were with us on some of the updates we were doing during the rain delay, I'm going to go out on a limb and pick a new winner. I don't think that one of the guys that's already won this year or in any years past will win this race tonight.
Well, they've only been here to Lanier twice before with the Busch Grand National cars. Now, is that going to be much of a factor? Very few of these drivers have a lot of laps here.
Not too much. This racetrack is very similar to some of the others they run on, like South Boston, Virginia, Hickory, North Carolina, some places like that. So it shouldn't be a problem.
All right, we'll be back with more at Lanier Raceway after these messages.
Take a closer look at the future of amateur sports in America. The USOC Olympic Sports Series, only on the Sports Channel America Network.
Now you can win with the Mets. Each time you use your Mets MasterCard from Manufacturers Hanover Trust, you get another entry to the Mets MasterCard sweepstakes. And each month there's a powerful lineup of great Mets prizes that you can win. So if you've got the card, use it. If you don't, apply now. Hey, who knows more about winning with the Mets than me? The Mets MasterCard from Manufacturers Hanover. To apply, call 1-800-MHT-METS. Anytime.
If it's out there, it's in here. The 9X Yellow Pages. Why would anyone need another?
I want to share a few words with you about gasoline. Now, people generally figure they're all pretty much the same. Well, we at Texaco recently introduced a gasoline we think is pretty good. Texaco System 3. Being curious, we spent a year or two testing it. What we learned prompts us to add a new word to the conventional wisdom regarding gasoline. They're not the same. And in the coming weeks, we're going to prove it.
May on Sports Channel is open season on big game excitement. The Mets take aim on the West when they slug it out with the Reds, Dodgers, Astros, and defending NL champion Giants. Reserve your front row seat for exclusive coverage of the Stanley Cup Finals. From the first drop of the puck to the last thrilling goal, there's Power Slam Pro Wrestling action with weekly matches from the AWA and ICW. Catch college baseball's finest competing in the SEC playoffs and Big East Championship Series. May on Sports Channel. A lot to get excited about.
Back here at Lanier Raceway, Gainesville, Georgia, the cars and drivers about set to do battle. We're about to hear that traditional command that puts almost every major race in this country underway.
Drivers, start your engines.
There you have it from Pam Wyndham, who was selected to give the command to drivers start your engines. Patty Moise in the starting field tonight, Glenn Jarrett, so you can't say gentlemen in this situation.
No, not anymore. It's drivers start your engines.
Looking forward to a great battle here tonight. We understand there will be several laps run under caution to help complete drying the track here at Lanier Raceway, Gainesville, Georgia. We're going to take a look at the starting lineup for you in just a moment here. We have 30 cars and drivers lined up to do battle tonight. 200 trips around this 3/8 mile paved oval at Lanier Raceway. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineup for the You Can Rent 200. Here's your top 10 qualifiers for today's You Can Rent 200. On the pole in car number 63 out of Portland, Oregon, that's Chuck Bown. Bown driving the Nescafe Classic Pontiac. Lining up outside row number 1 from St. Louis, Missouri, young Kenny Wallace in the Cox-treated lumber Pontiac, the number 36. Second row on the inside, great story, dirt track veteran out of McConnellsburg, Pennsylvania. Car number 96 is driven by Tom Peck, and that's the Thomas Chevrolet Oldsmobile. Starting fourth, outside row 2, one of the great veterans of this series, from Ridgeway, Virginia, driving the Crown Fast Fair Oldsmobile, the 25 for Jimmy Hensley. Your third row on the inside, out of Nashville, Tennessee, in car number 8, that's Bobby Hamilton, the Philmar Racing Oldsmobile. And on the outside, lining up sixth, out of Richmond, Virginia, in car number 99, the Goo Goo Clusters Buick for Tommy Ellis. Fourth row on the inside, Robert Presley out of Asheville, North Carolina, driving car number 59, the Alliance Training Center's Olds. And on the outside, going eighth, another great dirt track star, car number 26 for Davey Johnson out of Imperial, Pennsylvania, the Daly's Fruit Juices Buick. Fifth row inside, starting ninth in car number 9, will be Ward Burton. He's from South Boston, Virginia. That's the Texas Beat Hot Sauces Chevrolet. And on the outside, starting 10th, one of the few women drivers in NASCAR racing, Patty Moise out of Jacksonville, Florida, the Amway Buick, car number 45. Cars moving out onto the speedway for some caution laps to finish drying the surface here at Lanier Raceway. Let's take you back through the rest of the field. Row 6, Dave Resendiz in car number 79 will be on the inside. On the outside, it'll be Jeff Burton, a Virginia-based driver, the Art Motorsports car. Seventh row, we'll have Dana Patton, another NASCAR North veteran. The 86 is his car number. Bobby Moon will line up on the outside of the 7th row, driving car number 85. He's from Spout Spring, Virginia. Let's move along and check up row number 8. Car number 22, Rick Mast, will be on the inside, one of the great veterans of this series. On the outside, the 08 of Bobby Dotter. Ninth row, we'll have Steve Grissom in car number 31. One of the veterans of this series, a driver to watch, Tommy Houston, aboard car number 6. Row 10, we'll have Tommy Sigmund out of Virginia. And the 21, Jack Ingram, one of the champions of this series, in car number 11. The 11th row, point leader Bobby Labonte in car number 44. And young Donnie Ling Jr. out of New Jersey in car number 66. 12th row, the 20 of Randy Porter. And the 56 of Ronald Cooper from Georgia. 13th row, Elton Sawyer's number 27. And Brad Teague in car number 75. And we'll move along and check out the 14th row. Billy Standridge in car number 47. Ed Ferree from Pennsylvania in car number 49. And the final row, the 15th row, will have L.D. Ottinger, who has won in this series this year, in car number 2. And Joe Nemechek, a rookie, in car number 87. So there you have the 30-car lineup for tonight's You Can Rent 200 here at Lanier Raceway, Gainesville, Georgia. We'll be back for the start in just a moment after these messages on Sports Channel America.
Seeing a typical night on television? Call this number instead.
Who's on the line?
And you can enter the Twilight Zone. On video cassette only through the CBS Video Library. Examine your first cassette risk-free for 10 days. See why this remarkable series earned 3 Emmy Awards. Witness masterful performances by some of America's favorite stars, like Jack Klugman.
How come you're 10 years old again?
And rediscover the genius of Twilight Zone's creator, Rod Serling.
Just a prolonged nightmare in which fear, loneliness, and the unexplainable walk hand in hand through the shadows.
Now it can be yours to enter whenever you like. Your first video cassette of 4 classic episodes is only $4.95. Call now to order The Twilight Zone on video cassette, only from the CBS Video Library. Credit card orders only, unless you prefer another typical night on television.
This is a golfer. He'll play anywhere. Golf Digest magazine helps his game anywhere he plays with instructional articles from top pros. So wherever you play better with Golf Digest.
Get a full year of Golf Digest for $19.77. Call 800-841-0300 now and get our free half-hour instructional video with your paid subscription. Call 800-841-0300 now.
Welcome back to Lanier Raceway in Gainesville, Georgia, where the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series cars and stars are out on the Speedway under caution. We're completing the drying of this track, Glenn Jarrett. We've had a lot of rain here today, but the sky has cleared off, at least to our east tonight, and it looks as though we ought to be able to get this underway without much problem.
I think the heavens are with us. The racing gods are on our side right now, so we're going to get this show underway.
All right, let's take a look quickly now at the drivers who have notched victories this season in the Busch Grand National Series. Tommy Houston, he's starting deep in the pack tonight, but he's picked up 2 wins already.
Yes, he has, and the 2 wins that he got were on short tracks of this nature, one of them coming in his home track in Hickory, North Carolina. And I'm sure Tommy's a little disappointed with his relatively far back starting position. However, he's a man to keep your eye on. He can come through that pack in no time.
All right, we're going to go around now and talk to Ralph Shaheen, who is pit side for us tonight. Glenn, we're going to be looking for your prediction. Ralph Shaheen, who do you think looks good tonight? Who do you like to win this event?
Well, I think the guys on the front row are definitely due, and both of them have enough experience that they can possibly hold on and take the checkered flag here. But I got to agree with Glenn. If somebody's going to make it really work tonight, the experience could count, and then you got to look to Tommy Houston. Although he's got a long way to go, he certainly knows how to get up front and stay there.
All right, Ralph thinks Tommy Houston has a good shot. You were telling me about how strong Chuck Bown is.
Yeah, I think this is Chuck Bown's night. He has been overdue for so long now, and he definitely has more than enough experience to come home in first place tonight, and I think that's what we're going to see. I predict Chuck Bown's going to come home first tonight.
All right, we're going to make it a 3-way split here. My selection is Tommy Ellis in the Guru Clusters Buick. This is his kind of racetrack, I think, and he's starting pretty close to the front.
Absolutely, Tommy's always one to keep your eye on.
We understand that we're about 4 laps away from getting the green flag tonight, and the cars will be going back into double file order. Again, the lead row, Chuck Bown in the 63, the Nescafe Classic car, will start on the pole alongside Kenny Wallace.
Yeah, those 2 guys are running fast. To show you how competitive this series is, the last guy, the guy that won the last race at Bristol, Tennessee, is L.D. Ottinger. He did not make the race tonight based on his qualifying speed. He had to use a provisional starting spot. That's close competition. That's tough when the guy wins one week, has to use a provisional the next race to start.
And LD, one of the great veterans, 2-time champion when this series was known as the NASCAR Late Model Sportsman Series. We should explain to you the cars are circulating fairly rapidly, but under caution. These laps are not being scored. These laps are not counting toward the 200-lap total that'll make up the You Can Rent 200 tonight here at Lanier Raceway. We're trying to get the rest of the racing surface dried off for everybody, the NASCAR officials and the drivers are comfortable that they feel we can go racing safely under green flag conditions.
Standing here from our vantage point looking at the racetrack, the turns have dried very, very much more than what they were when they first put the cars out. This thing's going to be ready in another couple laps. We're going to see some terrific action.
Everybody's champing at the bit here. Everybody's been very patient, including those of you who are with us tonight at home, because we started here at 4 o'clock this afternoon bringing you updates. It rained off and on. We got qualifying in without any problems, but when we tried to go racing, just no luck at all. But things look great now. We're 2 laps till the green. We understand trackside, that's the situation. Bobby Scruggs out of Roanoke, Virginia is the official starter for the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series, and he has an assistant to drop the green flag tonight on the flag stand, an honorary starter from You Can Rent stores. We'll be ready to go racing here in just a short time.
I think the thing to look for early on is to see how the guys pace themselves, because they're not quite sure what the racetrack's going to do. It's been several hours, about 4 hours since they've actually been on the track. It's going to be a little green, meaning there's not much rubber on the track, so they're going to kind of feel their way out here to begin with. You don't want to punish your car and possibly overheat the tires cause some extra friction there that could possibly blister a tire. So I think you'll see kind of a conservative pace early on.
And 200 laps on such a short track will go by fairly quickly. If you have to stop in this race, can you get back on the lead lap?
If you have to make an unscheduled pit stop, you're going to be in trouble. And as Tommy Houston said, there's a penalty for changing tires. What he means is that there is a penalty. If you change tires under caution, there's a 2-lap penalty here. So they should go from start to finish on the same set of tires. We're getting ready to go racing now. They're coming down to take the green flag.
You can see Chuck Bown, the pole sitter, snaking his car back and forth to try to get a little heat buildup in those Goodyear tires before we turn them loose. Bobby Scruggs looks the field over. Chuck Bown is on the pole. Kenny Wallace on the outside pole. 200 laps to go at Lanier, and we're underway. Busch Grand National Racing on Sports Channel America is underway. Chuck Bown by half a car length, your leader, over Kenny Wallace as they move toward turn 3, and Jimmy Hensley is moving right up to make it a 3-car scramble as we complete lap number 1.
You can see early on that the inside lane is the place to be. Jimmy Hensley very easily moved by Kenny Wallace. Kenny kind of hung out there in the outside group.
Chuck Bown is your leader. Jimmy Hensley is second. Kenny Wallace tucks into third spot. Tom Peck in the 96 is running fourth. And Jimmy Hensley now has some inside running room on Bown as they hit the first corner. Hensley down low with some good handling on that automobile. Chuck Bown now stuck a little bit up high. That's probably not where he wants to be.
No, like I said, the inside lane is the quickest. So I think that Jimmy Hensley was the second fastest car all this track. He's going to be a competitor with Jimmy Hensley.
Cars moving very nicely around Lanier Raceway's 3/8-mile surface. Still Chuck Bown, your leader, over Jimmy Hensley in the blue car, the number 25 automobile. Kenny Wallace and Tom Pecker third and fourth, very early in the going here at Lanier Raceway. 200 green flag laps ahead tonight. Glad to have you with us on Sports Channel America as we begin the 1990 NASCAR Busch Grand National season here at Lanier. Bound continuing to set the pace on this very tight oval. And we've got a spin in turn 2. That's Bobby Moon out of Virginia, out of Spout Spring in the 85. He gets the car pointed in the right direction and refired. Now he's come to a stop there in the low lane, and that's not a good place to be on this racetrack where the groove is down low. We've got a caution flag on the Speedway.
No, they had trouble. There was another car involved. Now Billy Standridge, another car, has tagged the wall going down the back stretch, but it just brushed it trying to get by Bobby Moon. 2 cars tangled. Bobby Moon got the worst of it when he spun there, and this is our first caution of the night.
Bobby Moon started in the 14th spot in the Moon Racing Oldsmobile out of Spout Spring, his first year on the Busch Grand National Series, and the cars move under caution now as Chuck Bown continues as your leader. And the caution flag is out on the Speedway. And we'll be back here at Lanier Raceway in a moment. We pause now for a regional break. We pause now on Sports Channel. Sports.
Freedom is all that matters. Freedom is everything.
There's a new light shining over Eastern Europe.
The Hungarians are waiting for a very long time.
A light of hope, joy, and most of all, a new light of freedom.
Everything is changing. It's wonderful.
It's a miracle.
I'm so happy.
And in this spirit, GE has entered into a historic partnership with a company called Tungsram, Hungary's leading lighting company.
Freedom is something that you have to work for very hard.
It's like a dream, a beautiful dream.
At GE, we're proud to play even a small part in helping the Hungarian people build what promises to be a truly brilliant future.
I'm young again.
We're back at Lanier Raceway in Gainesville, Georgia. Ron Williams along with Glenn Jarrett as we begin our coverage here on Sports Channel America, the 1990 NASCAR Busch Grand National Racing season. We've completed 8 laps. We're under caution. Bobby Moon brought out the first yellow flag of the night. He spun over in the second corner, Glenn, and got trapped kind of down on the inside lane. Then Billy Standridge got mixed up with him, too.
Yeah, I think all Standridge did was get a little high as he went by him to avoid that, and he just barely tagged the wall, so he didn't really hurt anything.
We're going to take a look now and show you exactly what did happen. If you look at the top right-hand corner of the screen, You can see here as the cars start to get out of shape, it's on the left side as they work into the second corner. Standridge and Moon got together down on the low side. Everyone else went high to get around them. There you can see Bobby Moon's car down low and Billy Standridge just outside of him. They're going to have to hook the wrecker up. We can see Bobby Moon out of the car. He's wearing the white driving suit, says Kowalski Racing Engines on the front. He's walking back to the pit area. So the 85 car apparently will be out for the night.
Evidently, you know, it didn't really look like there was that much damage done to the car, so it must have, you know, I didn't see that much contact, and it doesn't appear to be bent up too badly, so something else must have happened to the car also.
Hate to speculate. Maybe he dropped the drive shaft, something like that, that might have caused the car to come to a sudden stop over there.
Could very well have happened, you know, could very well be, Ron. He started to drive the car off, you know, after he spun, and then all at once it lost power, so got to suspect that there's something else amiss there.
Tow truck brings the 85 car back to the pit area. We work on lap number 10 now, circulating under caution here at Lanier Raceway for the Yukon Red 200. Moon's car coming in on the hook, and it does not look to have been damaged at all, as we speculated when we took a look at that replay. Cars continuing to work behind Chuck Bown, your early race leader. We understand a couple of more laps until we put them back under green. Jimmy Hensley has just turned in a terrific job so far here in the early going to move right to the inside and pick up second spot.
Well, he has. You know, he didn't waste any time in testing Chuck Bown down on the bottom. We've got one lap to go now before we go back to green, but Hensley showed some muscle early on.
Absolutely. Seems like he's got things hooked up. Here's the running order. Top 5 after 11 laps. Chuck Bown and Jimmy Hensley 1 and 2. Then Kenny Wallace, Tom Peck, and Tommy Ellis has moved to 5th. Bobby Hamilton will be 6th on the restart. Safety car moves in, and Chuck Bown slowly brings them out of the 4th turn, looking for the green from Bobby Scruggs, and we're back underway. We're racing once again, and Bown takes him back into the first corner as your leader. Jimmy Hensley sitting back in 2nd. Kenny Wallace is 3rd, then Tom Peck and Tommy Ellis. Sports Channel's Ralph Shaheen is handling the pit chores for us tonight. He's standing by with Bobby Moon.
Bobby, what happened to you out on the racetrack to start here? I was trying to get under Patty, and we went into the first turn and got together, and I think it broke a steering box or something.
Well, now you came into the pit, your car went the other way, and the crew went running to the car. Are you going to try and get the car fixed and return to the action?
Yeah, we're going to try to fix it and get back in the race and pick up some more points.
All right, well, we're going to let Bobby Moon go to his car and help get the crew and the car back out onto the racetrack.
All right, there you heard the problem, a broken steering box on Bobby Moon's automobile. Glenn, we're back under green, and it's still Chuck Bown, your leader, over Jimmy Hensley. We're noticing that Tommy Ellis is fading back off the pace.
Tommy Houston, Ron, he evidently has a tire, car number 6, way in the back of the pack. His car is extremely loose right now. He's got a problem of some sort, so he's really fallen off the pace.
Definitely the case. Chuck Bown continues to set the pace. He qualified quickest here today. Sat on the pole. Tommy Houston brings the Rosa Stores car in for an early unscheduled pit stop. His crew ready to see him, and they wave him right on through. The yellow comes out. Yellow flag comes out. L.D. Ottinger has had a problem apparently also. He's off the pace and out of the racing groove. And Billy Standridge now with some problems up in the 4th turn. So a couple of the cars and drivers getting out of shape here very early in the Yukon Red 200 tonight here at Lanier Raceway. And we're back under caution for the second time tonight. Standridge getting his car back in gear and pointed in the right direction. Standridge, a veteran driver. He's been at this quite a while out of Shelby, North Carolina, the Standridge Auto Parts Pontiac.
Billy has had a bad start to this season so far. He crashed the car in practice at Daytona, so he's not having much better luck here tonight.
We'll take a look at the replay. L.D. Ottinger got out of shape up between 1 and 2.
He simply went down too low and got in some water, and the car broke traction.
And Ottinger's coming to a stop against the wall. He was able to get the car back in gear, pointed in the right direction and going again. Tommy Houston, his tire problem, now he's in under caution, and they're going to have to change, it looks like, right side tires on that car.
Yeah, he definitely had a tire going down. You can see the car really loose as he was making his way around the racetrack. And you know, when something like that happens, you have no call except to make a pit stop, and Ralph Shaheen is there.
Well, Glenn, they did change the right rear tire. In fact, the crew is over here taking a look at it right now. We'll see if we can get our camera crew over here and take a look at it. You can see the smoke and steam pouring off it. Yes, they found the hole. That's exactly what the problem was with Tommy Houston. He has a new right rear tire, and hopefully it'll make the difference for him here this afternoon.
Tough break indeed for that great veteran who's won 2 of these events so far this year, Glenn.
Well, it is a tough break, particularly this early on in the race. However, also involved in that is the 2-lap penalty. He's changed tires under the caution now. That is a penalty under current Busch Grand National racing rules.
All right, cars continuing to circle. The Lanier Raceway pace car is back on the Speedway surface here. We've got some other bumps. It looks like we'll be going back to green in just a moment. L.D. Ottinger up alongside Tom Peck's automobile, and Ottinger's got some front end sheet metal damage there, Glenn, on the right side.
Looks like he got into the corner, got into the back of somebody. That might have been what turned him around over there.
Could well have been the case. We saw that replay a moment ago. LD lost it between 1 and 2. Here's the green flag. We're back under green conditions, and Chuck Bown in car number 63, the Nescafe Classic Pontiac, continues to set the pace over Jimmy Hensley. Kenny Wallace, LD Oettinger now no longer on the lead lap. Tom Peck remains in fourth spot. Tommy Ellis is fifth. Bobby Hamilton with a good drive is sixth, but your two leaders, Chuck Bown and Jimmy Hensley, really going at it nose to tail up in turn 1.
Yes, they are. You know, early on, after a restart or at the beginning of the race, Jimmy Hensley's able to put a lot of pressure on Chuck Bown. But after they run 4 or 5 laps on the green, Chuck's car starts to pull away. So it might be that, you know, Jimmy's car runs a little quicker on fresh tires, but as the heat builds up, Chuck seems to have the upper hand.
Now, we talked about the weather today and how it's rained off and on. It's washed much of the rubber off the surface. What does that do in the early stages of a race? The track's real green.
It makes what we call a green surface. That means that the cars generally will stick better, okay? But it also...
We've got trouble on the main straightaway, and again, it's Billy Standridge. We'll get back to your point in a moment, Glenn. Billy collects the car, but he got into the wall and left some sheet metal on the surface. We can see from our location here in the broadcast booth behind the start-finish line. So the caution back out again for the third time tonight already.
And in 3 of those cautions, Billy Standridge has been involved in all of them. He's not having a very good night.
All right. Well, Billy Standridge is back on the Speedway, but he'll have to go pitward. We're under caution for the 4th time tonight. Sports Channel America's coverage of NASCAR auto racing will continue after these messages. Set. Fight.
Why does one person excel above all others? Is it motivation, raw talent, desire? Is it personal satisfaction, intelligence, luck? There's no magic formula, and there's really no secret. But there is Soloflex. Because Soloflex is designed and engineered with one thing in mind, your body's needs. And we've created the finest, most complete, and simplest system to attain those needs. With Soloflex, the reward is yours. For a free brochure, call anytime.
Call now to have the sporting news delivered right to your mailbox every week at a big 46% saving off the cover price. Plus this full hour video cassette of the decade, baseball in the 80s. They're all here, all yours, all free.
Call 1-800-238-3100. Get your free video with 25 issues of the sporting news for 3 payments of just $9.96. Call now, 1-800-238-3100. That's 1-800-238-3100.
Welcome back to Lanier Raceway, Gainesville, Georgia. Live coverage of NASCAR Busch Grand National Racing on Sports Channel America. I'm Ron Williams alongside Glenn Jarrett, and we're about 30 laps into tonight's You Can Rent 200. We've had several caution periods. Here's the cause of the most recent one, Glenn. Patty Moise and Billy Standridge hooking up in the 4th turn.
Yeah, it looks like Billy got a little out of shape as Patty was trying to come under him, and he went down and hit her car all along the right side. She has since made a pit stop to check her tires, so I'm sure that she's in a penalty situation also.
Here we see it again. This is our speed camera shot as the cars come right at you toward the start-finish line. There you can see Standridge out of shape and Patty Moise hooking him in the front corner of the car.
Yeah, Patty was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Billy was already out of shape before they ever made contact.
Sports Channel's Ralph Shaheen standing by pit side tonight. He's with Billy Standridge.
Well, Billy Standridge is back in for the 2nd time, Ron. In fact, they're continuing to make adjustments to the right front. In fact, they're fixing the brake ducting to the right front. They're pulling away body panels that have been ripped apart due to the incidents that he's had already this afternoon in this event. So they're making a lot of adjustments to the car. Lamar Walker, the crew chief, overseeing all the adjustments. It looks like they're making quite a few changes to the right front suspension. When we get a chance, we'll get a word from Lamar and see if we can't bring you some details on exactly what it is they're doing to the car.
All right, thank you, Ralph. He's pretty much taking care of all 4 corners as we watch the Donnie Ling crew, the 66 automobile being pushed back behind pit road toward what would be the garage area here at Lanier Raceway. Young Donnie Ling Jr., former modified driver. Let's take a look at the top 10 as we move toward the 30-lap mark here at the You Can Rent 200. Your leader has been Chuck Bown since the green drop. Jimmy Hensley has been dogging him. Kenny Wallace sits 3rd, then Tom Peck, Tommy Ellis. And the second 5, Bobby Hamilton out of Nashville, Ward Burton, a Virginia driver, Robert Presley, Dave Rezendes, and Dana Patton. as we have completed now 29 of the 200 laps. Brad Teague, one of the strong runners in this series, has also gone pitward in his Charlie Henderson automobile, and he's been a strong contender many, many times over the years.
Yes, Brad's always tough anywhere he goes. I think they made a chassis adjustment on his car. It didn't seem to be handling quite up to his expectations. They took advantage of this caution period to make those adjustments. We're getting back ready to go green.
About set to put the green flag out once again as we work toward lap 30. Safety car is in. Chuck Bown, your restart leader, and we're back underway. Bown takes him down to the first turn, and we'll see if Jimmy Hensley can get up some momentum and give chase here.
It'll be interesting to see, you know, if they ever get a chance to run an extended period of green. I still contend that Chuck Bown's got the strongest car. Hensley's able to pressure him early after a restart when his tires are cool. But once those tires heat up, Bown seems to start pulling away.
We talked early on about how this is such a wide racetrack and it would give the drivers plenty of room to race. So far, though, it's been pretty much single file. Are they waiting to dry out the track a little more, do you think?
Well, again, you know, you're still kind of testing your car, and the fastest groove right now is on the bottom of the racetrack, so nobody wants to run up high unless they absolutely have to.
That's what we're seeing, pretty much nose-to-tail racing. Kenny Wallace moves the Cox-treated lumber Pontiac up on Jimmy Hensley's back deck lid to make it a three-car scramble now. As the cars move down toward turn number 1, we've got trouble on the speedway once more. Caution flag is back out. It's Ed Ferree out of Pennsylvania twirling his automobile over in the second corner. There have been a couple of incidents over there. That's where L.D. Ottinger got into trouble a little while back.
Well, Ron, the cars seem to want to dive a little lower going into the first turn than what they do into the third turn, and there's still some water down in that very bottom apron part of the racetrack, and I think the guy's just getting the tire off of that stuff, and the car's turning around on him.
That seems to be the case. Ed Ferree of Saxonburg, Pennsylvania, the Cochran Pontiac. Ferree for many years a standout on the dirt track late model scene in Pennsylvania, particularly western Pennsylvania. And this is really his second year in Busch Grand National competition. Ran a few races last year, trying to make all of them this year. Safety car comes back out to pick up Chuck Bown, your leader, and you had selected Chuck Bown as the likely winner tonight. You thought it was going to be his night so far. It has been his night all the way. By the way, we should pass along L.D. Ottinger, who won the last race of this series at Bristol, has made up his lap. He's back on the lead lap in that caution exchange.
Well, all these early cautions have certainly given a guy that gets a lap down early the opportunity to get one of those laps back. And, you know, later on in the race, LD has always been a contender who runs stronger into the middle and latter part of the race. So, you know, he could very well stand a good chance to go on and contend for the win here tonight now that he's made that lap up.
LD closes up on the back end of the field. Ralph Shaheen is standing by to update a story in the pits.
Well, we're standing with Lamar Walker, who's still talking to Billy Stanbridge. Lamar, what did you folks do to the car? We noticed a lot of adjustments to the suspension.
We had a little altercation at the first race with L.D. Ottinger over here on the backstretch, and the car got it up in the wall, and it's knocked the toe end out on the car. On the next caution, when he saw the caution backed out of it, Patty Moe spun him up here in the corner. I don't guess she saw the caution, or a spotter didn't tell her the caution or something. And then we came in and tried to adjust the toe end after the caution. Then they got the green. They got the green flag, and then she spun him out on the green up here.
Well, now, you had a chance to do a couple laps at speed. Does it seem to have fixed the problem now?
I think it's still towed out just a little, but he says the car feels pretty good now. He says it's got a little push in it. We're going to run a few laps and see how it does. We haven't really got enough green flag laps to tell now.
All right, thank you very much, Ralph. With Billy Standridge's crew chief, Standridge back up on the speedway. We're ready to go green again.
Ron, it's always refreshing to hear somebody else's point of view differing from what we saw on the racetrack. You know, your crew's always on your side.
Sure, that's the way it has to be successful, I would think. All right, we're ready to put the green flag out one more time after 5 cautions early on here at Lanier Raceway. This is lap number 40. L.D. Ottinger has lost a lap in the pits once again, so he's now a lap down. Tommy Ellis trying to get a good jump on the green. Ellis to the inside through 1 and 2. He's put the move on Wallace. In the meantime, your leader, Chuck Bown, dogged by Jimmy Hensley in car number 25. Now we can see Ellis to the inside of Kenny Wallace as they battle it out for third down the main stretch.
You can see the cars are pulling away from Kenny Wallace and Tommy Ellis. When you run side by side, you simply can't run as fast as you can single file.
At this point, it is pretty much a single file situation, but a great battle for third shaping up. Tommy Ellis now has half a car length on Kenny Wallace as they move back to turn number 1. Wallace tries to come back to him on the outside. Tom Peck is right there for 5th, and also giving good chase to Peck is Bobby Hamilton. You can sort of see the number 8 car in our camera shot. There's the number 8 car of Bobby Hamilton. Wallace now reestablishing himself in front of Ellis for third spot as they move through 1 and 2.
He did a heck of a job hanging on to that third position because he was hung out in the outside lane, but he showed that his car will run up there, and that might be a prediction of things to come later on, because if his car will run that fast, that high right now, when the lower groove gets slick, he may be a factor.
Still looks slick down low. We saw a little slipping and sliding as they worked out of turn 4 between Hamilton and the 59 car, which is being driven tonight very nicely by veteran driver from North Carolina, Robert Presley. But meantime, Chuck Bown continues as your leader in the Nescafe Classic car. He's opened up 4 car lengths now over Jimmy Hensley in the Fast Fair Crown, number 25. And as you mentioned, as we have trouble again over toward turn 2, we'll take a look at that. This time, Bobby Labonte involved over there with Tommy Houston. Labonte around and back underway, and Tommy Houston is also. But out in front, as you called it, Glenn, Chuck Bown, once the tires heat up, is able to stretch the lead.
Absolutely, and this is a bad break for Bobby Labonte, the current points leader. We're going to see what happened here. He gets the car, he gets tagged, he turns sideways. Tommy Houston hit him. He did not spin all the way around, and he did not lose a lap. However, he's only about 10, 12 car lengths ahead of leader Chuck Bown, and he's going to need something really like a caution flag or something to help him keep from getting lapped early on.
As Labonte works by Randy Porter, and Chuck Bown continues to set the pace here at Lanier Raceway in Gainesville, Georgia. Great to have you along tonight on Sports Channel America for NASCAR Busch Grand National Series competition. Chuck Bown is tracking down Bobby Labonte to try to get a lap on him, as Glenn pointed out. Meantime, Bown has opened up now about 6 car lengths over the second-place driver, and that continues to be Jimmy Hensley, the veteran Virginia chauffeur out of Ridgeway in Virginia. And sitting third, Kenny Wallace. He's quite a distance ahead of Tommy Ellis, who runs it.
Looks like Ellis might have overheated his tires a little as he got down on the bottom. When you run a car down low like that, you really overheat the tires more than if you run your normal groove on the racetrack, and it can really you can really have to pay for it later on, because once the tires get hot, they're not going to cool off.
Does it bind the car up more when you try to keep it that tight to the inside?
Absolutely. The more you turn the car, the more friction it creates.
All right, we're continuing to watch. We look at a battle back in the pack a little. This is a battle for 6th through 9th positions. We look at Robert Presley in the 59, the 96 of Tom Peck, and side by side, Ward Burton in car number 9. On the inside, Bobby Hamilton in the 8. They've got Tom Peck in the vice grip sandwich, and Peck now is able to root Ward Burton out of there. Now Bobby Hamilton to the inside, makes the pass good and gathers the spot. This is a battle. 5th spot now belongs to Presley. Hamilton is 6th. Peck is 7th. Coming to the inside, Dave Rezendes and Steve Grissom getting into the fray. They move by Tom Peck, so Tom Peck starting to go backwards now.
Peck's car doesn't seem to be working at all in that upper groove, and he's trying his best to get back down to the bottom where he can run better, but every time that one car passes him down there, another moves right in behind it alongside him.
Good racing indeed here at Lanier Raceway. The track has dried, and there's a good battle for second shaping up. Kenny Wallace to the outside of Jimmy Hensley, and Wallace just motors right around him as they hit turn 1.
As we were stating a while ago, Wallace's car is working really well in that upper groove, and he just drove right by Jimmy Hensley in the outer lane like he was sitting still. I look for Wallace to really track down leader Chuck Bown now. Bown has pulled out to about a 15-car length lead, but at the rate that Wallace is running right now, I've got an idea that he's going to be challenging for the lead very soon.
Now, what would make Wallace's car hook up so well all of a sudden?
Well, sometimes, you know, the guy can, when you're qualifying, the shortest way around the racetrack is always on the bottom groove, and you continue to run down there. But in setting a car, his car might be a little tighter, so therefore it doesn't want to turn quite as quickly. And that is conducive to running a little higher, a little longer line around the racetrack.
And that seems to be the case for Kenny Wallace, who just drove by Jimmy Hensley a few laps ago as though he were hitched. We're working toward lap 60. Almost a third of this You Can Rent 200 already into the books tonight here at Lanier Raceway. Your leader continues to be Chuck Bown. He's working up on lap traffic. We're looking at Tommy Ellis and Robert Presley going at it. That's a battle for 4th and 5th position. Ellis is on the inside trying to take 4th away from Presley, but Bobby Hamilton is right there. 3 cars under a blanket working through turns 1 and 2. Ellis is down low. Presley is up high, and we'll see what can happen. Bobby Hamilton apparently selecting the high groove too to try to make his way around Tommy Ellis.
Hamilton's car is working extremely well up high on the racetrack, as is Robert Presley's. Ellis continues to use the bottom lane, and he's simply getting passed by these cars in the outside lane.
Presley and Hamilton have set sail now. They're going to try to get close to the front. Chuck Bown having a bit of a problem. He remains your leader, but he's trying to work by Billy Stanbridge and Bobby Labonte, and he hasn't got a lot of running room to do that. So this may give Kenny Wallace a chance to close it right up. Meantime, we look at the battle back for 4th, 5th, and 6th involving, you see Dave Rezendes, car number 79. The front of that pack is Robert Presley in the 59, the 8 of Bobby Hamilton. Rezendes is in the red number 79. Steve Grissom in the number 31 right in there. Good 5-car battle. Tommy Ellis obviously missing on the setup at the moment. He's back at the back of that group of 5 cars.
Ellis in the car 99 seems to be getting a little loose right now, and he needs to cool his tires a little bit. I imagine he would like to see another caution so he can make a chassis adjustment.
That's a battle for 4th through 8th. Here's your leader, Chuck Bown, moving to the inside of Bobby Labonte. Remember, Labonte, the point leader in the Busch Grand National Series, spun earlier, trying to stay on the lead lap at the moment, and Bown is giving him all he can work through. We're looking at the running order, 50 laps into the race. Tom Peck at that time was 5th. Robert Presley was 6th, and followed by Ward Burton and Steve Grissom. Meantime, Chuck Bown trying to work around Rick Mast. Mast with some problems in the Raven Boats Buick, car number 22. Mast down low with smoke pouring out of the car.
Mast has been black flagged by the NASCAR official. He's got some oil coming out. We're going to get him off the track. In fact, he's coming into the pits now.
Apparently some problems maybe in the rear end of that car. We'll try to find out what's going on. Meantime, your race leader, Chuck Bown, still dogging Bobby Labonte, who's trying desperately to stay on the lead lap at the tail end of the lead lap right now as they work down the backstretch toward the third turn. Leader is Chuck Bown.
Kenny Wallace, as we stated earlier, has really come on strong. He's only a couple of car lengths off of the bumper of leader Chuck Bown. Bown now is moving underneath Terry Labonte to put him that lap down, and Kenny Wallace is going to be following suit very, very quickly.
This is what makes short track racing so interesting, I think, Glenn, that you have that traffic to work through 30 cars on a 3/8 mile racetrack. Not a lot of running room for anybody.
No, there's not. You know, we're about a third of the way through the race right now. Chuck Bown has led every lap, but I got an idea before lap 100 we're going to have a new leader. Kenny Wallace is running awfully strong. He's now trying to move up on Bobby Labonte. Now we got to crash over in turn 2.
More trouble over there. We see among the cars involved the Ironman Jack Ingram over there, along with Bobby, check that, Ronald Cooper. In the number 56 automobile, the 21 cars, Tommy Sigmund, a Virginia driver. 3 cars get together over in the second corner, and the caution is waving here at Lanier Raceway, Gainesville, Georgia. Sports Channel America's coverage of NASCAR auto racing will continue on this Saturday night after these messages.
I admire your luck, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
For more than 25 years, James Bond has thrilled moviegoers. And now Time Life Video announces the James Bond Collection. And the adventure begins with Goldfinger at the special introductory price of just $9.99. That's a savings of 50% off the regular price. Then you can collect other James Bond adventures on home video. Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Thunderball, Live and Let Die, Octopussy, and more.
Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
The James Bond collection begins with Goldfinger for only $9.99. If you keep it, you'll receive another great Bond movie each month for just $19.99. There's no minimum to buy. Cancel at any time. Call now to get Goldfinger for just $9.99. Here's how to order.
To order your James Bond video cassette, call 1-800-841-0300. That's 1-800-841-0300. Or send just $9.99 plus $3.23 shipping and handling to James Bond Video, P.O. Box 4670, Omaha, Nebraska.
Back at Lanier Raceway in Gainesville, Georgia, Ron Williams and Glenn Jarrett on Sports Channel America for NASCAR Busch Grand National Series racing. That's Bobby Scruggs, the official starter of the Busch Grand National Series, waving the caution, showing one lap till another green, and here's why the caution came out, Glenn.
Well, we had a 3-car tangle. Jack Ingram, Tommy Sigmund, and Ronald Cooper got together. They were running 3 abreast in the turn there. They all went for the same spot at one time, and none of them made it.
We've seen that happen over in 2 several times. It looks like the driver who's in the middle lane tries to turn down coming out of the corner.
Yeah, and it's still a little slick down there. We're getting ready for a restart.
As we look at Rick Mast's car that's overheated in the pits, the green is back out. Chuck Bown continues to be your leader. He's got Bobby Labonte, who's now a lap down right behind him in the 44 car. And we've got trouble in the 4th turn. L.D. Ottinger in the 2. Davey Johnson in the 26 have spun, and again the yellow is out. Everybody jumps on the binders, and they'll get by safely. Some great driving done up in 3 and 4, Glenn Jarrett.
Absolutely. Bobby Labonte was trying to get his lap back, and he tucked the nose under leader Chuck Bown in the 63 car as they came off of that turn. It looked like Bobby was going to plow right into L.D. Ottinger, but fortunately he saw him in time, was able to get back in line and avoid that mishap.
Young Davey Johnson getting his number 26 Daly's Fruit Juice car pointed in the right direction. Again, we're under caution. Unofficially, this would be the 8th caution period of the night. We're working lap 76 of 200 here at the Lanier Raceway in Gainesville, Georgia. The Yukon Red Stores 200. We'll be looking to go back to green in a few moments, but first, we're going to take some time out and pause now for a regional break.
Today's the day you can decide what kind of life your kids and their kids will have.
If we don't do something about global warming will surely do something about that.
Before long,
America's heartland might have to live with temperatures over 90 degrees for almost a third of each year.
Chicago now has 2 weeks a year over 90 degrees. In just 60 years, it could expect 2 months each year.
If the weather in Dallas could go over 100 degrees for 2.5 months, imagine what could happen in Phoenix.
If you think global warming is only about warmer temperatures, it's only the beginning.
In our kids' lifetimes, drinking water could be a problem as salty ocean water backs into our rivers.
America's heartland could have trouble growing the corn, wheat, and oats that we need for bread and cereal.
Every man, woman, and child can help make a difference, and that includes you.
The Sierra Club can show you how. Find out today. Your children, your grandchildren are counting on you.
Back to green flag racing here at Lanier Raceway in Gainesville, Georgia. The Yukon Red 200 is underway, and Chuck Bown continues to be your leading. Cars racing down the main straightaway towards Truck 1 and Glenn Chuck Bown now with over the racetrack in play.
He certainly does. He has put Grand National Points leader Bobby Labonte, car number 44, 1 lap down, and Labonte is acting as a cushion between Bown and the 36 car driven by Kenny Wallace, who is currently running in second spot. So Chuck's got the whole racetrack ahead of him. This is what you want to see when you're leading the race. No traffic, everybody behind you.
That's Chuck Bown in the Nescafe Classic car number 63. Kenny Wallace in the Cox Wood Treating car, the number 36 has been running super strong. Our Ralph Shaheen is standing by with Kenny Wallace's crew.
Well, his crew chief is Tony Frazee, and Tony, it looks like Kenny has really turned up the boost a little bit if this thing was turbocharged. What is going on with Kenny?
Well, right now, we just decided to set a good pace for the race, and we kind of accidentally found a good groove on the high side, and it worked to our benefit, but right now we're just trying to save our tires since we cannot get under caution and put tires on. We're just fortunate enough to find a good groove on the outside right now.
How long will he be able to keep this pace up?
We're not abusing the car at all right now. It's really up to Chuck, you know. If he's going to go faster, we've got to stay with him, but we're not going to go any faster than we have to right now.
So Kenny Wallace trying to go as fast as he can right now without abusing the car. Ron?
And Wallace has open track in front of him in the 36. Here's your leader, Chuck Bown, in the number 63 car. He's got about 4 or 5 car lengths on Kenny Wallace. Again, now that the tires have heated up a little bit, Glenn Jarrett, Bown apparently able to set sail.
Yeah, he's running still strong down in that bottom groove, but I tell you what, with Kenny Wallace running that middle groove on the racetrack, he is not using his tires as quickly as Bown is down on the bottom. And he is inching up ever so slightly every lap on leader Chuck Bown. So I think that Kenny may have found the secret early on here.
We'll see how young Kenny Wallace can do. We've still got about 120 laps remaining in the Yukon Red 200 tonight here at Lanier Raceway. Your leader's been Chuck Bown. He qualified quickest, sat on the pole. He's led all the way. Currently third in Busch Grand National point standings in the 1990 season. And he's doing just a terrific job out here so far tonight at Lanier Raceway. Let's see if we can find out what one of the secrets to Chuck Bown's early success has been. Ralph Shaheen is pit side.
Jeff Hensley is the crew chief for Chuck Bown, and they're only about 2 pit stops away from Kenny Wallace. Jeff, can he keep up this pace?
We're really not running all that hard right now. We started out running hard because we thought it might going to rain, but right now we're just kind of pacing ourselves because we can't change tires or anything. And, you know, we're going to do the best we can. And, you know, we run about what we run when the race started, so we're going to do it, give it all we got.
Well, right now it's becoming a battle of strategy. Crew chiefs and drivers matching up.
Chuck Bown continuing to lead in car number 63. We've been watching him closely all night. He's been doing just a terrific job. Kenny Wallace in the 36 car trying to close up, but he hasn't really been able to. The gap now about 8 or 9 car lengths as we look at the cars running through turn 3 and 4 and out on the main straightaway. A little further back in the pack, third place at the moment belongs to Bobby Hamilton, who kind of quietly, Glenn Jarrett, in the number 8 car, Hamilton was able to work his way around. We still look at the 2 leaders. There's Wallace in the 36 car. Here's Bobby Labonte's car. He now a lap down. Your third place car belongs to Bobby Hamilton, car number 8.
Yeah, Hamilton has done a really good job of moving through the pack kind of silently. He just picked them off one at a time. Now he finds himself in a position to hopefully challenge Kenny Wallace for the second position. He's got a little bit of ground to make up. And we're talking about that distance between car 63, our leader Chuck Bown, and car 36, the second place runner Kenny Wallace. It seems to have stabilized. Neither one is really gaining on the other right now.
We're closing in on the halfway point. We're at lap 93 of 200. Is this a point where you want to kind of take it easy and just relax a little bit on the racetrack?
Well, as both crew chiefs has attested, the guys are just trying to take care of their equipment right now. They're not going to punish the car. If Chuck Bown can run this lap speed and stay out front, that's what he wants to do.
Here's a look at Bobby Hamilton with Philmar Racing, Oldsmobile Carter Brady. He's out of Nashville, Tennessee. Many years, a very strong runner at the Nashville Raceway. Moved into the Busch Grand National Series last year. Turned in some strong runs. Won a race in the series last year, as a matter of fact. And he's gunning along in third tonight, trying to track down. He's got a first move around Bobby Labonte's lap car and see if he can get up close to Kenny Wallace. Here's a good battle a little further in the pack. Dave Resendiz in the red number 79 alongside Robert Presley in the 59. That's a battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Tommy Ellis in the 99 car, the Goo Goo Clusters car, right in there well, and Resendiz now moving through to pick up the spot.
Yeah, those guys are going at it hard and heavy, and it looks like Ellis's car, the tires have cooled down a little bit, and he's back on that bottom groove, and he moved by Robert Presley to take that position.
Resendiz in the 79 is 6th unofficially. Ellis is 7th, and Presley in the 59 moving back to 8th. Resendiz a little out of shape. Ellis leaning on him just a little bit.
Yeah, you can see Resendiz in the 79 car is he's being pressured real hard by Ellis in the 99 car.
Tommy likes to do that. He's a veteran of these kinds of short tracks. Now Ellis moves down low, and I'm sure you've been leaned on by Tommy Ellis a few times, Glenn Jarrett.
Anybody that's raced in Busch Grand National has been leaned on by somebody at one time or another. Ellis is just one of the best.
You know when you see those black fenders in your mirror that you've got your hands full probably with Tommy Ellis. But Resendiz, although he was sideways, he was dirt tracking it there a few laps ago, he's been able to straighten it out, and he's got a car length over Ellis as they battle it out for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Robert Presley's car seems to have lost a little of its earlier handling strength.
Robert is really, you can see the line that he's running in the turns. He's running right now higher on the racetrack than even Kenny Wallace was. So he, the car does not want to work at all, doesn't want to turn it all down at the bottom groove, and he's trying to find a faster way around the track.
That's Presley in the black and gold, number 59. Bobby Scruggs, the official starter for the Busch Grand National Series, showing the drivers the passing flag. He showed them the cross flags a few laps ago from the halfway, so we're in the second half of this race quickly. Chuck Bown, your leader, working by lap traffic in 1 and 2. He's coming up on L.D. Ottinger and Tom Peck. Ottinger in the deuce there, Peck in the blue, number 96. Here's Bown to the low side as they race into turn 3, and he works his way by L.D. Ottinger to put L.D. another lap down. Ottinger's just been off the mark here all night long, really.
And as Chuck Bown works this traffic, you can see that he is steadily still pulling away. His car is working the traffic a little better right now than the 36 car of Kenny Wallace, who's in second place. Now Bown has some clear racetrack ahead of him, and Wallace still has all that traffic to contend with.
All right, we want to take a moment here and tell our viewers in Philadelphia we're going to have to break away from tonight's Busch Grand National action to bring you baseball. The Philadelphia Phillies at Atlanta. We'll keep you updated on the action here at Lanier Raceway. We continue under green, one of the longer green flag stretches we've had here tonight. Glenn Jarrett, Chuck Bown in the number 63 car continuing to set the pace. Nobody's had any luck with him at all tonight.
No, and he's getting seemingly better as the race goes on. He's really stretching it out now. Kenny Wallace in the 36 car running second has moved through most of that traffic between them, but Chuck has put almost a full straightaway lead on the 36 car.
Chuck Bown now closing in on car number 45. That's the Patty Moise machine. That's the Amway Freedom Fuel Additives Buick, operated by Mike Laughlin, Mike Laughlin's racing team. Meantime, we continue under green. 107 laps into the book. Sports Channel America's coverage of NASCAR racing will continue after these messages.
One of the great advantages of doing business with a firm like Schwab is that you're dealing with professionals across the whole country. They're creating financial advantages for the individual investor.
I think the absence of sales pressure makes a really big difference to our customer. They've seen the competition, and they've come to a place where we don't have an axe to grind, and we don't have a sales quota to fill. I think investors find Schwab a really refreshing change.
The reason why I like working for Charles Schwab, it's an incredibly innovative company, and there are many things you can get involved in. It's not just stocks and bonds.
Many of our customers transfer their other brokerage accounts to Schwab because we make it easy. We help the customer complete the right form, they sign them, and we do the rest. It's that simple.
For a free booklet describing Schwab services, call toll-free 800-841-0300. That's 800-841-0300. Call Schwab today.
He's unstoppable.
If I get the ball, you're at mercy of whatever I want to do.
Come Fly With Me, the ultimate video on the most exciting athlete in the world today. Every sports fan will want to own the hottest of sports videos, Michael Jordan Come Fly With Me. Witness his aerial onslaught as he takes on the rest of the NBA. To get your copy of Come Fly With Me, call 1-800-238-3100 today.
Back live at Lanier Raceway in Gainesville, Georgia. Ron Williams and Glenn Jarrett on Sports Channel America. NASCAR Busch Grand National Racing tonight. We're 114 laps into the Yukon Red 200. Here's your lead car driven by Chuck Bown, the number 63. At the midpoint of the race after 100 laps, Chuck Bown has led all the way from the pole position. We've had 3 caution flags for 22 laps. Our average speed of the race, nearly 90 miles an hour, and only 1 car officially out so far.
Yeah, most of the guys are still running. They've had some trouble early on, but thus far it's been a Chuck Bown benefit. He has really come to show him what he can do tonight, and he's doing it too.
And actually, I think we can even update you a little further. The 66 car driven by Donnie Link Jr. shown out. He's come back after many laps of the garage. He's back out there now, so we've got the full complement of 30 cars back in competition tonight. Billy Sanders said tonight, but he's even persevered.
Saturday night racers don't like to quit early. They want to get in as many laps as you can.
Now, if you're looking at our live picture, as we all are, of course, Chuck Bown on the 63 continuing to lead. He's moving up on Tommy Sigmund's number 21 to put him another lap in arrears. The sun's shining here finally, really for the first time in hours. As the cars move down toward turn 1, Glenn Jarrett, would that be a problem?
Yeah, it can be a little bit of a problem, particularly as wide as they have to swing out here. That sun can really be bearing down on you, and it's starting to set there in the west, and you're looking directly into it. The cars get some grime and stuff built up on the windshield, and it can make seeing really tough.
Chuck Bown working masterfully through the lap cars. Just went by Dana Patton's number 86 to put him another lap down. You see Ed Ferree's automobile in the picture. Chuck Bown all by himself now, working up on Ronald Cooper's car. Cooper, a strong runner here, too.
Cooper is a past winner. In fact, he won the last race here. But the car of Chuck Bown, you can see the last lap speed, 88.41 miles per hour. That's only 4 miles per hour off of what he qualified. That's an extremely strong pace at this point in the race. But you watch Bown, his is the only car on the racetrack right now that consistently works in the bottom groove. The bottom groove is the shortest way around the racetrack. As long as he can stay down there, he is going to be awfully tough for anybody to catch.
Nobody's had any luck with him. Kenny Wallace took a run at him a couple of different times and really hasn't had any success in the last 50 laps.
Very little at all. In fact, Bown now is stretching the lead. I've been clocking the separation between first and second. He's out to over a 4-second lead now, so he's pulling away.
For Bound to be able to run so close to his qualifying speed with 29 other race cars out here, that's nothing short of amazing.
Well, it is. It's a real testimony to how well prepared that car is and to how good an educated guess that Jeff and Hubert Hensley made in setting up that car for green conditions. In other words, they didn't have much practice or any practice after all the rain washed the rubber off the track.
Chuck Bown in car number 63 continues to run the show here at Lanier Raceway. Coming up on 75 laps to go in the Yukon Red 200 tonight. Glad to have you along as we begin a season of outstanding Busch Grand National auto racing coverage. Kenny Wallace in second place, but he is a long way back right now. Wallace really almost half a track behind.
Well, seemingly what has happened to Kenny, you know, we were talking about how well his car worked up high on the racetrack. As the track got slicker, the rest of the cars had to move up into that groove, and that took away Kenny's fast way around the racetrack. His car won't work down low like Chuck's does, so therefore it takes him more time to pass this traffic. Chuck's car, by staying on the bottom of the track, he just drives right under him and goes on.
There we take a look at Kenny Wallace in the Cox-treated lumber Pontiac, the number 36 automobile, the distinctive green and white car. He's going to lap by Brad Teagues, number 75 here in just a moment. Wallace started on the outside pole, and he's turned in a good ride tonight, but as you mentioned, Glenn, he just really hasn't had any success taking a run at the lead.
Well, you know, the funny thing, Ron, is he's running under normal conditions well enough to win this race, but there's one car out there right now, the 63 car of Chuck Bown. He's just got everybody beat really badly right now.
And you were telling us earlier, really before we came on the air, as we look at Bound now trying to move up and get around Robert Presley one more time in the 59. Bound really was right from the time they unloaded the car today. We've got a battle on the racetrack we want to show you. Here's the deuce of L.D. Ottinger. Tommy Ellis now moving in. L.D. Ottinger's a couple of laps down, but Tom Peck in the 96, Steve Grissom in the 31, Ellis in the 99. A battle for position. That's a race for 6th, 7th, and 8th positions on the Speedway, down between 1 and 2.
Those cars have really been going at it all night long. In fact, they're making the best show of anything here tonight. There's not much of a challenge for the lead, but those 3 cars have been going at it tooth and nail all night long. You've
got a veteran of the series, Ellis in the 99, the black and red car. Grissom, a comparative newcomer who came out of the All-Pro series, and then working along with him in the battle, of course, you got L.D. Ottinger's car. So you really got a kind of a cross-section of the strong drivers. Here's Steve Grissom in car number 31. He's currently showing in 4th place on the scoreboard.
This is one of the stronger runs that Steve Grissom has had in his young Busch Grand National career. His car's really hooked in well tonight, and he's doing a heck of a job. Anytime that you can run a race and keep Tommy Ellis at bay like he has done for the past 30, 40 laps, you know you're getting around the racetrack well.
And I I'll remind everyone, I had thought Ellis would have a good shot at winning here tonight. He's certainly not out of it, but we're on lap 133 of 200, so he's running out of time. If he's going to get anything going here tonight, he's got his work cut out for him. Leader is still Chuck Bown in car number 63. He's led the whole show from the top of the initial green. He's working race traffic now once again, coming up on Tommy Houston in the number 6 automobile, the blue and white car. Houston moving up out of the groove to get Bown plenty of room to get by. A very gracious thing to do on the racetrack.
Absolutely, and Tommy Houston is out of it early here because of some early problems. He's not going to hold up Chuck Bown. He would expect the same thing done for him if the shoe were on the other foot. Incidentally, Bown has increased that lead now to over 5 seconds over Kenny Wallace in second place.
Wallace working down in 1 and 2. We can't see him at the moment, but he was having a little trouble getting through some traffic. Bound now back in that great position he's got with an open racetrack pretty much in front of him as he works around Tommy Houston.
I'm going to put the clock on leader Chuck Bown to see what kind of lap times that he's turning right now. He just simply doesn't seem to have slowed down very much since the green flag bell starts this morning.
Tommy Houston, now that he's got his tire problems ironed out in the number 6, doing a good job, too, to stay with the leader. Chuck Bown, the famous son of a famous racing family in the West. Jim Bown, Chuck's dad, a strong runner for many years in the NASCAR Winston West Series and won many races at Riverside and other places out on the West Coast.
Well, Chuck gets it on the married side of the family, too. His father-in-law is Herschel McGriff, who is one of the racing legends on the West Coast.
Chuck Bown continues to set the pace in car number 63 here at Lanier Raceway. We're here for the You Can Run 200, 138 laps into the books. Chuck Bown is your leader. Sports Channel America's coverage of NASCAR racing will continue after these messages.
From J2 Communications, Ali, Foreman, Frazier, Holmes, and Norton. 5 of the world's greatest heavyweight champions together for the first time in Champions Forever, the video. You'll relive their most thrilling moments in the ring and catch them with their gloves down.
I started getting in their face, looking them dead in the eye.
The men, the legends, the video. Champions Forever. Order Champions Forever now, and you'll also receive free this boxing glove keychain. It's made just like the real thing, and it's yours free when you order Champions Forever now.
For rush delivery of your Champions Forever video, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-841-0300 or send $19.95 plus $4 shipping and handling to Champions Forever, P.O. Box 4670, Omaha, Nebraska. Call 1-800-841-0300.
Call now to have the sporting news delivered right to your mailbox every week at a big 46% saving off the cover price. Plus this full hour, video cassette of the decade, baseball in the 80s. They're all here, all yours, all free.
Call 1-800-238-3100. Get your free video with 25 issues of the sporting news for 3 payments of just $9.96. Call now, 1-800-238-3100. That's 1-800-238-3100.
Back live at Lanier Raceway, Gainesville, Georgia. Ron Williams with Glenn Jarrett and Ralph Shaheen on Sports Channel America. Your race leader here is Chuck Bown. He's led the whole show from the drop of the green in car number 63. Just a Chuck Bown benefit so far tonight. In fact, he's moving up on Jimmy Hensley in car number 25 to put him a lap down. Here's a great battle between Tommy Ellis and Steve Grissom. Glenn, they've been going at it for 30 or 40 laps.
Yeah, it seems like Tommy will cool his tires a little bit and dive back under Steve Grissom to try to take that 4th position away. And as they're battling, leader Chuck Bown is moving in. He has lapped the 6th place car, and he's setting his sights on these 2 cars battling for 4th and 5th right now. Ellis in the 99 car, Steve Grissom in 31.
They have been going at it. It's been a wingding here for a long time, and the fans have been watching and enjoying this battle. Chuck Bown, meantime, has headed this show from the start, as we've told you many times, and he may put the whole field a lap down before we're done here tonight. We only have another 52 laps remaining in the You Can Run 200 tonight here at Lanier Raceway. Meantime, down in turn 1, Tommy Ellis in the 99, Don Lowe really pulling on that car to get it inside of the 31 of Steve Grissom.
You can see just how close the racing quarters are here at Lanier Raceway. Those 2 guys are not separated by any more than a half a foot most of the way around the raceway. Now they split Billy Standridge going into the first turn. Steve Grissom's car working extremely well in the upper groove. Tommy Ellis doing a heck of a job down on the bottom of the racetrack.
Amazing Grissom could hold on and they could split Standridge like that and not get into trouble going down into the first corner that way.
Yeah, that takes a lot of confidence in, number 1, your ability, and number 2, in the fact that the guy you're splitting is not going to make a sudden move one way or the other.
In Grissom, just on the outside, it's been so hard for anybody to run quickly in that second group tonight. This is a great effort by him.
Well, I think I can't say enough about Steve Grissom, the job he's doing tonight, running side by side with a veteran like Tommy Ellis Tommy's got the upper hand, I think, by being in the bottom group. He can root a guy out, but he hasn't done that, and it shows great ability on both of their part. Grissom in the 31 car, Ellis in the 99 car. That's a heck of a show.
They're working up on Jimmy Hensley's number 25. They just go by Bobby Boone's 85 car, and Grissom really working over Ellis, and you can see him in there. Ellis particularly really having to hold onto the wheel and working to keep the car down low.
You know, you got to give a hat kudos to the rest of the guys. When these two guys running side by side come up on them, they're moving out of the way and letting them go right on. So they haven't, for the last 10, 15 laps, they have been in a dead heat side by side.
Again, this is a battle for 4th and 5th positions tonight in the Yukon Red 200. Grissom at the moment has 4th by half a car length over Ellis. After 150 laps, here's the way they were running. Meantime, Grissom trying to stay in front of Ellis as they race for 4th spot out of the second turn and down the backstretch here in Lanier. And Grissom just by a wheel as they move into turn 3. They're moving up on Tommy Sigmund's number 21. Also out there, the number 9, driven by Ward Burton. That's the yellow and white car, the Texas Beat Hot Sauce's car. Grissom now, they're going to be 3 wide over in the second corner, Glenn.
This is going to be interesting when they come up on Ward Burton driving the Texas Beat car number 9. Tommy Sigmund down in the 21 car down on the bottom of the racetrack, directly ahead of Tommy Ellis. We're going to see some real excitement here in the next few laps.
Now, Tommy Sigmund in the white 21, a little slower, I think, than Burton, so he may serve as a moving kick down.
And you can see that Tommy Ellis used the 9 car to squeeze Steve Grissom out of that 4th position. Now Grissom touches Ward Burton and tries to go back on the outside of Ellis. He's not content to let Ellis take that spot that easily.
But Ellis has 4th spot now, and he's got it by a car length. Grissom refusing to give up. He'll dog Ellis and go right to the outside again and try to work by him. It's like a big speed camera here on the main straightaway, the Lanier Raceway in Georgia.
Grissom, as soon as they clear that traffic, I think Grissom will mount another challenge to the outside. They're in such heavy traffic right now, it's real tough to constantly run side by side. But Grissom is as strong as Ellis is, and I think once he gets the chance, he'll move right back up alongside and challenge for that.
They walk by the 21 car of Tommy Sigmund. Again, this is a race for 4th spot tonight here at Lanier Raceway. Tommy Ellis in the 99, Steve Grissom in the 31 down the backstretch.
While they're battling, the 6th place car, number 79, of Dave Resendez, is moving up on them. As I said earlier, you don't run as fast when you're running side by side. It takes skill, but it also takes speed away from you. And Resendez has moved up now to challenge Steve Grissom for the 5th position.
Dave Resendez in the number 79 car. That's a car owned by his dad, K.R. Resendez. They're a northern team. They're based up north, and they come down to run the Busch Grand National Series. Meantime, the leader, Chuck Bown, is about to try to put Resendez a lap down. This is Bown, your leader in the 63. He almost gets squeezed as they go 4 wide into the third corner.
He almost crashed right into the back of the 86 car being driven by Dana Patton. Chuck did a good job getting on the binders and preventing that altercation. He doesn't want to take any unnecessary chances right now. Everything's going his way. He's moved out to better than a third of a lap lead, and he doesn't want to take any chances working traffic.
Chuck Bown, your leader, he's led all the way right now and working lap 165, 35 to go. This time by, and Bown putting on a great show.
In fact, he's moving so fast that he's got a little over a half a lap lead right now. I said a third of a lap, but he has really moved out away from second place runner Kenny Wallace driving the car 36.
Kenny Wallace has turned in a great drive tonight, but as you mentioned, Chuck Bown can put that car down low, which Kenny Wallace cannot do.
That's been the difference in this race tonight. Kenny Wallace has run a heck of a race, but Chuck Bown's car is absolutely hooked up perfectly. Resendez in the 79 car has now moved out a couple car lengths ahead of Bown, and he's holding off. He's doing a heck of a job in keeping himself in the lead lap.
What's your strategy now? So close to the end, Bown's got a huge lead. They don't pay any extra for a lap in the entire field. Does he want to just sit back at this point?
He's content right now to wait until a place opens up for him to put that lap on Resendez. He's not going to push the car. There's no need to. The second place car is way behind him right now. You don't take any unnecessary chances. When the position on the racetrack opens up, you take it, but you don't try to push it.
Bown working by the 66 of Donnie Link Jr. He's right behind the 79. That's Dave Resendez, who was 6th. Bown has lapped everyone else but the other 5 cars to make up the top 6 along with the number 63 car. We're working down to the end here tonight. 32 laps to go on Lanier Raceway. Tonight's NASCAR Busch Grand National action. Great to have you with us tonight. Ralph Shaheen is standing by down in the pit area to talk to Chuck Bown's crew chief. Ralph, what's the strategy look like?
Well, Ron, that's what we're going to ask Jeff Hensley. Jeff, what is the strategy that Chuck is running with right now? Strategy that he's running with.
We're just trying to run as hard as we can and just stay smooth. That's what you have to do in Busch Grand National Racing, because you can't let up any, not any, because somebody might come up behind you. Kenny Wallace is running real good. This thing ain't over with yet, so we're just going to try to keep our game plan, run smooth and steady. God, Lord willing, we'll win it. If not, we've done all we can do now. It's up to fate.
All right, thank you very much, Ralph. We pause now. We're going to pause in just a moment as we watch Bown work on Resendiz. They're side by side up in 2. 30 laps to go. We pause now for a regional break. Sports Channel America's coverage of NASCAR auto racing will continue after these messages.
This is going to be a piece of cake, right? Pull over and make a fast call. But I'm using this other long-distance company. Now, first, they have me dialing all these numbers just to get them. Then I got to dial the number I'm calling. Call this easy. And I still got to dial all these other numbers. Double parked. So, yeah, I make the call.
Thank you.
To the tune of $35.
With the AT&T card, calling is easy. Another reason people are coming back to AT&T. Aren't you glad you never left?
If you've been tracking the big game, your hunt is over because Sports Channel is declaring open season on big game excitement. Catch Hojo, Gooden, McReynolds, and the rest of the Mets in exclusive action as they set their sights on the National League pennant. The hunt for the Cup is on Sports Channel as the NHL playoffs explode, from opening face-off to the final celebration. So make tracks for the big game. Catch exclusive Mets and great NHL action on Sports Channel. Your hunt is over with Sports Channel. A lot to get excited about.
Back here at Lanier Raceway in Gainesville, Georgia, Ron Williams and Glenn Jarrett bringing you NASCAR Busch Grand National action tonight. You're looking at a picture of the leader, Chuck Bown, in car number 63, working up on the 4th place runner, 31, driven by Steve Grissom. Check that, Grissom at the moment in 5th. Tommy Ellis has gotten back by him to reclaim 4th. Bown setting sail, Glenn, about 20 laps to go. He may lap everybody.
Well, it looks like he could very well indeed lap the field, as we stated earlier, and his crew chief, Jeff Hensley, alluded to. Now he got trouble. He almost got squeezed by lapping those girls. That's what I'm talking about. He's really picking his way through that field. That was a close call. A lot closer than should have Chuck have won at this stage of the race.
Bound at the moment trying to work by the 56 of Ronald Cooper. Tom Peck's 96, obviously not handling it all. He's way up high, and that created that brief second where it looked like they were 4 wide down there in turn 1. Now Chuck can give chase again to Steve Grissom's 31.
Yeah, you know, we were talking about the job that Grissom is doing, and as we were way on break there, I got to thinking he has run some All-American Challenge Series races here. He has some laps on this racetrack, so that always helps, knowing coming in how to set the car up, what to look for later on in a 200-lap race. So his experience and his patience has certainly paid off for him tonight. This is the best that I have ever seen Steve Grissom run in Busch Grand National.
It's been very smooth. He stayed out of trouble. He gave Tommy Ellis all he could handle there for a long, long time, and that was one of the most entertaining battles we've seen tonight. The race leader, the Escapade Classic Pontiac, the 63 of Chuck Bown. He's looking to go wire to wire tonight here at Lanier Raceway. Working lap 182, 18 to go, and Chuck Bown all by himself. Kenny Wallace, we haven't said much about him in a while. Kenny Wallace in car number 36 is running second. Wallace has turned in a great drive here tonight, but he just hasn't been able to do anything with Chuck Bown at all.
No, and nobody else can do anything with Kenny Wallace except Chuck Bown. The car number 8, driven by Bobby Hamilton, running in 3rd spot, is still about 2 seconds behind Kenny Wallace. So all the racing that we have seen, as most of the racing, has been for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Bound working his way now by Joe Nemechek's number 87 car. He's coming up on Grissom. The 86 is driven by Dana Patton, another northern driver who's making the full Busch Grand National Series tour. We see the 27, the A.G. Dillard car, low on the racetrack very slowly. That's driven by Elton Sawyer from Chesapeake in Virginia, and he's been out of the race. He was in the pits for a long time.
It looks like he's getting ready to come in again. They've got a problem on that car, and they just can't seem to get it corrected.
Meantime, your leader, Chuck Bown in the 63, working over Steve Grissom as they race down the back straightaway. Grissom in the white number 31, now forced up high. We've got 14 laps remaining tonight here at Lanier Raceway, the You Can Run 200. And Bown works his way by Grissom to put the 5th place runner a lap down. So Bown has lapped off in the first 4. We'll be back with the conclusion of tonight's event in a moment. Sports Channel America's coverage of NASCAR racing will continue after these messages.
I'm Bob Knoll. My official title is Head of Auto Testing for Consumer Reports magazine, but I really work for you. And there are over 200 people who work for you at Consumer Reports. We test and report on everything from toothpaste to TVs. Right now is a good time to try Consumer Reports because you can get a free trial issue with no strings attached. Here are the details.
Call now for your free trial issue of Consumer Reports, the magazine that gives you all the pros and cons of a product, including price. Call now for your free trial issue, then decide. When the bill arrives, pay it and get 11 more issues, 12 in all, including the annual buying guide issue, for just $20. Or write cancel on the bill and owe nothing. If you do subscribe, you'll also get 2 free gifts. The New Medicine Show, updated and revised, plus the 1990 buying guide issue.
So put Consumer Reports to work for you. Call now.
Call now for Consumer Reports.
Call 1-800-841-0300. 1-800-841-0300.
Soloflex. One machine. One workout program. 32 exercises. 90 minutes a week. For one beautiful body. The Soloflex Muscle Machine. For a free brochure, call anytime.
We're back at Lanier Raceway. Just a few laps to go in the You Can Run 200. Your leader, Chuck Bown, in the 63, working by Robert Presley. Meantime, good battle for third spot. Just ahead, the 99 of Tommy Ellis. He is third. Right behind the 8 car of Bobby Hamilton, who's fourth. And Hamilton trying to get up there.
Yeah, all at once, Tommy Ellis's car just really caught fire and took off. He went by Steve Grissom. As we watched that battle, now he has moved past third place runner Bobby Hamilton into third place. Has elevated Hamilton back to fourth. So Ellis coming on strong again.
We're working now toward 4 laps to go. We put lap 196 up on the board as Chuck Bown, your leader, goes by. 4 to go, and we'll see if Bobby Hamilton can do anything to try to get by Tommy Ellis, but I think he doesn't have quite enough time.
I think his car looks like it may have gotten just a little bit loose. If I can see it kicking out as he comes off the corner there. Chuck Bown just continues to march right through the field, right by everybody for victory.
Bown very close now behind Tommy Ellis in the 99. They were 5. Rick Matt's number 22 automobile. Ellis is third. Bown's lapped everybody except the top 3.
This has got to be really gratifying for him because he has worked so long and so hard, has run so well on this circuit to not to have a victory since the Oxford Main race several years ago on this circuit. Looks like he's going to end that drought here tonight.
We're about to see that change here in just a moment. Bobby Scruggs puts the white flag out for Chuck Bown at car number 63. Last trip around the 3/8 mile pavement here at Lanier Raceway. Bound working out in the second corner, smoking it down the backstretch, looking super strong. He'll take it easy behind Tommy Ellis. He'll come off the 4th turn. The Bobby Scruggs checkered flag, and Chuck Bown is your winner of the You Can Run 200 tonight at Lanier Raceway. Bown taking the checkered flag with a lap on most of the field. And a good battle between Bobby Hamilton and Tommy Ellis for 3rd and 4th spot. Ellis will claim 3rd. Kenny Wallace will pick up 2nd spot. Wallace about half a track behind, but he did a terrific job. Fans on their feet giving Chuck Bown his due after picking up a wonderful victory tonight here at Lanier Raceway. We'll be back to check victory lane ceremonies. We pause now for a regional break. Sports Channel America's coverage of NASCAR auto racing will continue after these messages.
CBS FM 101.1, the station you sing along to. CBS FM 101.1. Come on, you know the words. In the still of the night. At home, at work, or in the car, sing along to New York's oldie station, CBS FM 101.1.
1990 kicks off a new decade of hope and promise for our city's youth. Hello, I'm Melba Moore. For 10 years, the Summer Jobs Program has been helping businesses tap into this city's most vital resource. Bright, energetic, eager to learn youngsters in need of that first break. Summer Jobs has been responsible for a decade of success stories for thousands of young people and their employers. You can help the program continue this tradition by calling 212-888-JOBS and start your own success story.
We're back at Lanier Raceway in Gainesville, Georgia. Ron Williams and Glenn Jarrett on Sports Channel America. The evening's action complete. It's a lot quieter here now, and your winner in victory lane, driver of car number 63, Chuck Bown. He's out of his Pontiac, and our Ralph Shaheen is standing by to take you to victory circle. Ralph?
Well, it's been a long wait for Chuck Bown, but the drought is over. You found victory lane here at Lanier.
Finally, I was beginning to wonder. This team's run so strong since I come on board last year. The Nescafe Classic Pontiac's come that close to a victory so many times. And it's finally happened. We got the monkey off our back, and now I think we can do it a few more times. It was a whole lot of fun. Car worked just super, and I'd like to say hello to Mom and Dad out there in Portland.
Well, Kenny Wallace gave you quite a run there about halfway through the event, and then he went away. What made the difference?
Well, I think the track just got a little slick, and a lot of them started spinning their tires a little bit coming off the corners, but Jeff and Hubert Hensley had my chassis set up so good that it just never give up all night long. Just a slight bit loose late in the race, but it just never give up. You know, the lap time stayed good all night, and track stayed good, and, you know, I just couldn't be happier for Nescafe and Pontiac and the whole Hensley racing team. They're a great bunch of guys, and I think you're going to see us in victory lane some more, I hope.
Well, I think that's something we'll definitely see. Chuck Bown looking for win number 2 starting next week.
And that is Chuck's second career win on the Busch Grand National Series, his first since 1986, as Glenn Jarrett pointed out, at Oxford Plains in Maine. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of Sports Channel America. It's intended for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this event without the express written consent of Sports Channel America is prohibited. So Chuck Bown, our winner tonight here at Lanier Raceway in Gainesville, Georgia. We'll be back to wrap things up in a moment. Sports Channel America's coverage of NASCAR racing will continue after these messages.
I admire your luck, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
For more than 25 years, James Bond has thrilled moviegoers. And now Time Life Video announces the James Bond Collection. And the adventure begins with Goldfinger at the special introductory price of just $9.99. That's a savings of 50% off the regular price. Then you can collect other James Bond adventures on home video. Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Thunderball, Live and Let Die, Octopussy, and more.
Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
The James Bond collection begins with Goldfinger for only $9.99. If you keep it, you'll receive another great Bond movie each month for just $19.99. There's no minimum to buy. Cancel at any time. Call now to get Goldfinger for just $9.99. Here's how to order.
To order your James Bond video cassette, call 1-800-841-0300. That's 1-800-841-0300. Or send just $9.99 plus $3.23 shipping and handling to James Bond Video, P.O. Box 4670, Omaha, Nebraska.
We're back at Lanier Raceway, Gainesville, Georgia. The evening's action complete in the You Can Rent 200. There you see the top 5 finishers. Chuck Bown picking up his first victory in a couple of years on this circuit, Glenn Jarrett.
Yeah, he had that twinkle in his eye early on today. He knew he had the car, and if he could ever run a perfect race, he did.
And we look at the second 5. Jack Ingram, kind of a quiet but a great 6th place finish tonight.
Good recovery from that early spin that he had.
He had some problems, Dave Resendiz and Billy Sanders. And we look at the third group of 5, if you will, to round out the top 15. Tommy Houston persevering. He had that 2-lap penalty early on to finish 11th.
Yeah, Tommy hung in there and ran well the rest of the race.
All right, Ralph Shaheen is standing by with the 2nd place finisher in tonight's event.
Well, he gave him a good run again, and he came up just a little bit short, Kenny. Great effort out there. What happened? You fell off the pace near the middle.
Well, really, I didn't. Well, I guess I did fall off the pace. You know, Chuck Bown's Nescafe car was really hooked up, you know, all day long. And the problem was that I got a little bit too loose. I thought I had something for him early in the race, but he just kept on going, you know. The thing of it was is I had to drive the track real finesse. I couldn't drive too hard. If I drove real hard and I burned the right rear up, then, you know, I couldn't keep digging all day long. So I just had to keep the right rear tire from underneath me. If I got it too hot, then I'd get her crossed up and it wouldn't go. But we ran good, you know. Chuck Bown run better. Hopefully we can get us a win.
Well, that's it for the pits, Ron.
All right, thank you very much, Ralph. Great outing tonight. Chuck Bown, your winner of the You Can Rent 200. Tonight, the drive for the Stanley Cup continues with division final excitement. Catch Game 6 as the Chicago Blackhawks battle the St. Louis Blues for the Campbell Conference Championship. So long from Gainesville, Georgia. You've been watching Sports Channel America's coverage of the Busch Grand National You Can Rent 200.